Yeah. So, but that's got to change. That can't happen. It's got to stop. I
You
mean,
mentioned in passing that that's crazy, Ronnie. Do you like that name?
yeah,
Do you think
it
it's worth
doesn't
your?
bother me because I mean,
I think
literally, I've
personally,
heard voices
I think
before.
people use that to dismiss you. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but I think that some people use that to like just dismiss you, like crazy Ronnie,
Yeah,
he's tripping out
that.
again.
Yeah, yeah. Like everybody's got an excuse. Everybody's got a mullet on that one, huh?
It seems like it because you
Anybody
kind of
would die to be in my position right now. Okay, when I'm at a Hall of Fame or something, and I'm rubbing elbows with those guys, every time I'm with somebody, like let's just say there's a level of skills, like of acceptance. I haven't been with some of them that I don't like very much. There's not too many people that I don't like, but I wonder how they carry themselves too. But for the most part, we all get along. We all know the true story. We
yeah
all know.
yeah
And so, and if everybody would have stuck up, for example, it's funny because I'd always been the outlaw, right? I'd ride for Boss, and then my brother would be on Patterson with the Patterson brothers, right? So I would go to the Patterson Grand National, and I'd pull off a pro double where slingshots are legal, right? And I mean, it would just be a great experience for me, even though they'd file bankruptcy, give me a motorcycle, but not let me take it home, and I'd never get it.
wow
Stuff like that happened to me, okay? And everybody'd be like, "Oh, well, that's just Ronnie, it's a 16-year-old kid,
yeah
kicking their ass."
because Brent
Okay,
Patterson gave you that nickname because of your on
I
track
think you're right.
experience.
And you know where that happened at L.A. when Brent pulled off the track? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what you told.
Brent, I
I've heard
swooped
that story.
Brent. Right, right. I swooped Brent. I don't know how I got ahead of Brent, but I know Brent was chasing me down. And Merle said, "That's right. I'd pull over too if I was you, Brent." Crazy Ron. Yeah, that's when that happened. Yeah, that was good. That was February of 1984, and the first race I won was in January against Pistol Pete. Yeah, Pete got second behind me. I was 18 then. They didn't let me win Double A pros. Brian and Brian, Pete, and Lopes are the only one to win the Grands at 17 years old. Yeah, so that's what's weird today is these guys are 40, 35 years old, 33, 32, whatever, and they're at the top of their game and they're kicking ass. In
Yeah,
our day, that shit wouldn't have floated, bro. Absolutely not.
crazy man.
11
So is
pounds would have went in that 10-pound bag. It just would have happened.
right. One question I have to ask you is the
Come
jumping
on, more
contest
than
with
one.
you and Jeff Cosmola, dude. What was the prize money that you missed out on?
I didn't miss out on nothing. The only, no, so the only gripe I had was I was in a competition with him in a jumping competition one day where he was doing really good in the racing too. So while I was jumping and got my distance for the Guinness Book, he was out racing. So they gave him as many tickets as he needed, right? But they were telling me I'd be down to like two or three. I wasn't going and getting a bunch of tickets. You had to sign a piece of paper or something, right? So the event was supposed to be over at like 3 o'clock, and here we are at 5:30, and he's racing classes, and now he's going to show back up to do a jumping contest after he wins Double A Pro. So he pimped that day. He tripled. He won pro cruiser and pro money in the jumping contest. So that was a big day for him.
So there was
That
no.
was
It was
he.
just for a world record. It wasn't for any money.
Yeah, it was for $500.
Oh,
And
500.
yeah,
Okay.
sure, I probably would have already spent it. I needed new wheels from the last jumps.
So it was a $500 prize that you missed out on. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It
he
was
beat you by
38.
an inch. Really?
He
He beat you
didn't
by
beat
an
me. He
inch.
didn't beat me. He didn't. Yeah, they said by an inch. So no, no, half inch. So mine was 38.9, and they gave him 38.10. But the weird thing is too, like I had Clarence Perry's brother. I asked him if he would stand a couple feet into where the record was. And he said, yeah. So he stood there for me. I got on the bike and I made a couple warm ups and I took it and I jumped in the air and I kicked and I flew right over him. And I knew I cleared the record by about 4 or 5 feet easily, easily. There was hundreds of people there. And when I landed, the crowd just picked me up and just, stepped over everything. And then Merle's son says, oh, he landed right here. And he stood there and he measured it. And he always measured it from the top before, right? Because I'd watched him do it before. He measured it from the bottom, which was like 2, 3 inches into the sand. And it gave Jeff the win. I was like, and that's not where I landed.
And so
But
there was actually a world record in the Guinness Book for bicycle jumping.
he has it right now. He has it right now.
What about
So I
Scott
get that.
Brighthop? What about when Scott Brighthop jumped 76 feet?
Is that
Is
right?
that the same?
It might have been something else. All I know is that this particular record had a 3 foot jump and you had 100 feet to dash. So you got 100 foot and then you took off as hard as you could, obviously, whatever, and
Right.
yeah, launch and just hold on because when you land, you're going to land in that sand and, it's
Right.
only 3, 4 inches deep. You
Well,
you're
that's
gonna you're gonna you're gonna crash. You're gonna
you're gonna
crash.
crash.
Yeah.
Yeah.